Hello everyone, I am back. Yes, it's been a while. I'll get into that in a minute. But I'm back at Barcelona, back on the SimGrid Seasons races. So what I'm going to do, we'll let the start play out and then I'll sort of fill you in of what I've been doing, why it's been so long since I've made a video, and what's been going on in sim racing and in other things. So yeah, we start out here. I think I start this race in 12th or 13th position, as per usual. Try my best to stay out of trouble in turn one, and just sort of keep my distance from everyone, and then just allow the tyres to come up to temperature, the brakes to come up to temperature, allow the hustle and bustle of the opening laps to sort of just ease off, and then you can start getting into your rhythm. You know, these are split one races. This particular race, there was, I think, 45 people had actually applied for the race, so I think it was split into 2 or 3 splits. I don't know exactly what the total number of races is per, I think it's 20. Did you get 20 or 24 races? So maybe just 2 races, but this was split one, so it is a slightly faster pace. But I do generally realise that toward the back of the grid, I am, quicker than some of the guys at the back of the grid. So I generally just back off a little bit, let the race unfold, try and stay out of trouble. And then when things settle down, you just start picking up the pace and you can start making some overtakes. So it's really what we were doing here. Barcelona is a track I know very, very well. I don't have to try too hard to... It was a good one to come back into after so long doing no sim racing. I effectively had the whole summer off. So I haven't done a lot of laps going into this. I've done a few hot laps, a few practice laps, just to get the eye back in again, get the feeling back in the hands and the pedals and everything else. But yeah, these are clean races. So we'll start really with we'll start with what's been going on in SimGrid Seasons. So they have made some improvements, and very welcome ones, I'll have to say. It's much improved. So what they've done is they've introduced a driver rating, but the way they've done it is they actually allow the people who race to vote whether someone is clean or dirty or crashy or whatever they call it after the race. So if you are involved in lots of shunts, lots of bumps, if you're just pinballing into people, as was happening and as I've expressed my frustration at, these people are ending up getting labelled and voted as crashy people. And it's quite clever, because ultimately you don't want to be labelled as a person with loads and loads and loads of crashy votes, because it just singles you out, and people know what to expect. And I'm not sure if there are penalties for that, whether you actually get put down a split, maybe you're not allowed in the top split, or whether it literally is a reputational thing. And you don't want that next to your name. So this particular race, I think I had 5 clean votes and 1 crashy vote. I don't know why, considering I didn't hit anyone. I don't think I made anyone crash. So perhaps people just vote regardless. But 5-1, so nice. That's what you're after. You're always going to get the odd vote here and there, but you want generally a weighting towards clean racing. And I have to say, this system, it has cleaned up the racing quite a bit, particularly in split one here. I don't know what the slightly slower races are like. Maybe some newer people in there, you might get a bit more crashing, but if you can keep yourself in split one, oh, look at that. Just as I said, newer people. He makes a total dog's dinner of that chicane, outbrakes himself and goes over the sausage curb and loses the place. But don't worry, I think this race was actually it was over a week ago now. Yes, it's taken me that long to make this video, but I think I actually make a bold move here, straight back on the Mustang of all cars, which is really fast in the straight line, but we throw it down the inside and get him straight back again. So, again, nice and clean. And, the driver I was overtaking, he gave me room. I'm noticing that now. I'm noticing it in the split one races. People are giving you more room. You still get bumps, you still get crashes. People are still trying to make, unnecessary moves. I'm doing it. I've bumped into people. I've outbraked myself. But it's happening a lot less. And that can only be a good thing, because prior to this, it was really, really beginning to frustrate me. Every single race I went into, no matter where you were in the field, you were getting bumped off. Now, it's fine in the proving ground races, which are 20 minutes long, because there's qualifying. So if you're faster, generally the faster people are qualifying in the top 5, and they're the cleaner racers usually, and they tend not to get involved in scuffles. But in the quick races, they're only 12 minutes, and it's a random grid selection. So you can have really, really quick guys who get given a slot at the back of the grid. So they are desperate to get to the front. I mean, I don't know why. It doesn't mean anything. Just, if you finish 5th and you're really quick, then fine. But these people desperately want to get to the front sometimes, and they end up just punting you off. I actually have another video of some clips that I do have saved up from pre-summer holidays, where there was just people who were clearly fast, but they were just trying to overtake in stupid places, and they were just causing accidents. And the good news is, since the introduction of this system, it has generally cleaned it up. So, big props to SimGrid for coming up with that. It's really quite smart, allowing the actual racers to do the voting for you. Oh, and there he goes. So, that's a couple of easy overtakes, gained 2 places. And this race, as you've hopefully seen, it was nice and clean. We started, I think, 12th or 13th. We made up plenty of places. I skipped forward a few laps there because after that guy spun out, I had a job to do. I had a lot of catching up to do. So I had 2 or 3, 4 laps even where there was no one in front of me, but I was able to set nice quick times. I could see by my delta that I was setting low 45s, high 49s, which is not too bad for me around this circuit. It's a little bit off PB pace, but it is race pace, so you're not taking the same risks. And off he goes, another easy overtake. So we skip forward here to the last lap. I did this one because it was actually my fastest lap of the race. It was a 44.5 or a 44.4, which is approaching my PB for this circuit. I think my personal best in hot lapping is a 44 dead or 44.1, which is not too bad. Some of the esports guys are into the 42s, and some of the top Xbox and console sort of PlayStation races I've come across are in the 43s. So I'm not too bad on this one. So I left this one in. There's not much happens in it, but it's a nice clean lap. And I was really, as a first race back, I was really pleased with this. And I was thinking to myself, well, this system has, it allows you to compliment as well. If you have a good battle with someone, you can give them the positive vote, and it's a good feeling. It's you have a good race, and there's now a way to show it. So as soon as I finish this race, you go onto the SimGrid app on your phone or the website, and you go down once the results are published. It takes a minute or 2 for the result of the race to pop into the SimGrid website, and as soon as that's done, you can go down and you can vote the people that you've raced with alongside, if you can remember their car numbers, and you just give them a wee clean or dirty sort of vote here. And I think you get 4 clean votes and 1 dirty vote. So you can't just spam people with dirty ones as well. It's been sensibly implemented. So here we come, round to the end of the race. And it was good. I was really happy. The next race we're going to do, and you'll see in a minute, is we head over to Laguna Seca. I should just say that these races are, they do change. So SimGrid changed what the weekly races are. They change... which circuits there are. I think is it every week or every second week or something like that, and they change. So this week it was Barcelona and the Laguna Seca. Yeah, so this is the start of the Laguna Seca. I think this one I was assigned 9th on the grid. Laguna Seca is always a fun one. Obviously you've got the corkscrew, and that can always throw up its challenges. So it's keep it clean, keep yourself out of trouble. Particularly that turn 1, it gets all a bit bunched there, but it's quite a good circuit, this one. It's got some runoff areas. You can run wide a little bit like the Porsche there and get away with it, except for that guy that's just died. It does still happen. People really need to, these are quick races. This is not a competitive league. So I don't understand this absolute sort of insatiable desire to overtake everyone on lap 1. Just set yourself in, get yourself bedded into the field, let the field spread out a little bit, and then start just making your overtakes. If you're quicker, you'll catch people. People will make mistakes, particularly if you do the proving ground races or the slightly longer races. People make mistakes. And you have to just be patient. None of us here are pro sort of esports racing drivers, or professional real world drivers. Racing in a sim racing rig with the pedals, the wheel, and all that, it's not hugely physically demanding, but it does take a bit of physical effort. There's a lot of concentration involved once you start going quickly, and you make mistakes. So keep yourself clean, stay out of trouble, and you'll gain places just by people running wide or outbraking themselves. And you're not expected to be perfect, so I wish people would do that more, and you would avoid some of these the sort of lap one deaths, which effectively ruins that guy's race. But it has improved enormously since they've introduced this system. So I follow this Ferrari now for a little while, sort of staying back, just easing myself up to space. I haven't raced Laguna Seca, haven't even done a practice lap round Laguna Seca for months and months and months. I think I could see on my setup I'd saved, it was like March. So, it took me a lap or two just sitting behind this guy just to get my braking points, to get my turning points. Nothing, wasn't setting like blindingly quick laps. I think it was in the 24s. You can get down to the low 23s, high 22s in this circuit. So, there was nothing extravagant happening, but it was just, look, he's taken a different line. He's run a little wide, but, I'm not in a hurry to close him down. So yeah, it's much more enjoyable now than it was before. And that leads on really to what I'm doing. And he's just proven my point. He went deep, runs wide, easy overtake. So yeah, what have I been doing? Why have I been away so long? Basically, it was the summer holidays with the kids. I was going on holiday with the family, sort of kids camps and all my sort of day-to-day sort of normal routine that I have, which allows for me to do certain sim racing at certain days. It wasn't there, and I basically decided to have the whole summer off and did virtually no racing at all. The odd day here and there where I had a bit of free time. But yeah, I did no sim racing at all. And I basically played no Xbox at all. No gaming at all. And it was fine. I've quite enjoyed it. Truth be told, there's not a huge amount going on in sim racing. There's not a huge amount going on in gaming, particularly on console. There's not a huge amount of sim racing on console. There's a bit of stuff on PC, but on console, it really is quite barren. And then I came back from the summer, and the kids back to school, then the after school activities start, and it just takes a little while for all that to settle down. And, I have to then get into start racing again, recording the clips, making the videos. It just all takes a bit of time, and I haven't been playing a lot. I played a little bit of the Call of Duty beta. So spoiler alert for anyone who's interested, it's more Call of Duty, just with a lot of jumping around. This new Omni movement thing, you slide around and it's still Call of Duty. So if you liked it before, you'll like it. If you didn't, you won't. But we played that. It was enjoyable. For a little short spell, I played a couple of hours of it, and that was really it. So back into racing now, and I'm gonna maybe change it up a little bit. I'm gonna do a little bit of WRC. There's a new update coming for that, so we'll do a bit of rallying, and then I'm going to do a few sort of like smaller, shorter videos on the original Assetto Corsa, trying to beat certain times by certain people in certain cars. So there you are. And there's that race. I think I finished 5th. So 9th to 5th, no dangers, not too